Let's wait for a few more minutes and let people join, and then we can start. Or maybe we won't get anyone today, so there aren't any questions. Well, I'll wait for another 2-3 minutes, and if people are still joining, it's well and good. If not, then we can always end the live Q&A. But yeah, I think people are now starting to join. Hi Rahil. What is the job market like currently in the UK for people with 1 year of experience in software development and a master's degree? I mean, yeah, having experience is good, and also here it is actually valued. If you have a master's degree, maybe in India it's not as valued as it is here, so that's a good thing. In terms of job market in general, it is still falling down, and the number of jobs are falling down. So just give me a second. There's an ambulance going on. Yeah. So there's still negative sentiment in the job market, and it is continuously falling ever since. So every month, at least 80,000 jobs are reducing from the previous month. So the sentiments are still quite bad. So yeah, job market is not looking really good. But it is what it is. I'm doing good, Bhagya. How are you? Hi, Furkan. I'm doing good. How about you? Good to know that, Bhagya. On a 2 years stay back visa, can I work part time if you have to? So I think what you're asking is, along with your full-time job, can you work part-time? So yes, you can. So there's quite a lot of flexibility on post-study work visa. So yes, of course you can do. And that's the kind of restriction you have on skilled worker visa. You can't work for two employers at the same time. I haven't received cash. It's been more than 20 days since I paid the deposit. I would suggest emailing your admission team. They do reply and they do inform whatever is the condition why it is taking so long. So yeah, I would suggest reaching out to the admission team. I have a year's experience in mainframe. Will that come in handy when looking for data science job after masters in data science? It depends what all tools you used as a peripheral. So let's say you used GitHub or any other operations tools like Jenkins, Kubernetes. There are a lot of different tools, right? Docker, things like that. So if they are part of your whole development ecosystem, then yes, definitely it is definitely going to help. Uh, but I think mainframe is not directly linked to data science, and also from my perspective it is kind of a very old technology, and there may not be lot of things that you could bring from there. So in that case I would say maybe not. But yes, if you have used the tools which I mentioned earlier, it will certainly going to help. Alice, but I'm receiving automatic replies stating that they're gonna reply within 14 days of working days. That's interesting. Maybe you could write a fresh email and then see what happens. Usually they do reply within a week. I'm assuming it is mainly because of high volume of applications. Did you have unconditional offer? Your opinion on Cardiff University? I will be doing my master's in data science and analytics there. If you could go through the course content and let me know, will be really helpful. I think I already have. If we just look at the course content of Cardiff University, it's good. It is sufficiently enough to uh, get you into data science. They do teach quite a lot of things. So if we just see course content of Cardiff University, it's good. But if we compare it with other universities, I would give it 3 out of 5 score. So that's my opinion on Cardiff University. But don't get me wrong, 3 might not look good. Uh, it is a good university. Yeah, I got unconditional offer directly. Okay. Then you should receive cash letter, so don't worry about it. I would suggest you could start with loan application if you are taking loan. If you're not taking loan, then you still have quite a lot of time. The course would start in September, and even if you apply for visa uh, in like a week or so, you should be able to get your visa before your course starts. So you should be fine. So which universities can get 4 or higher? Mm, so University of Edinburgh has 5, University Glasgow 5, Imperial College London 5, LSC 5. As for 4, I would give it to Manchester University, Newcastle University, University of Nottingham, University of Southampton, UCL, Liverpool, Leeds, Exeter, University of Cambridge, and University of Bristol. So yeah, that is what uh, I have given those universities in terms of scores. But yeah, again, it is my personal opinion, and if you go to someone else, they might rate these universities quite differently. So it is very subjective. Everyone has their own way of um ranking a particular university based on the course content. So yeah, that's what I would suggest. Do you know anyone who booked their accommodation through sites like Amber Student Echo, University Living? Are they reliable? They are, because a lot of my batchmates, they did book their accommodations using Ember Student, UniEcho, and University Living. So yeah, they are reliable, uh, and they save quite a lot of hassle that you don't have to go through. I personally booked my accommodation through Spare Room, which was quite affordable, and I did not face any issues in that. But if you don't want to go through the hassle of finding a particular room in certain areas, because usually those sites, they have those accommodations which are very close to city center or the university, so I think you should be fine if you choose to book through those sites. You're welcome, Bhagya. Okay, thank you. What other skills would you say I need apart from what the course would teach me? Okay, so one big thing that now I usually tell people is that you need to learn cloud based technologies. So it could be AWS, it could be Azure, it could be GCP, at least one of them. The most popular one is AWS. So if you learn AWS, how to use AWS, and how to perform data science lifecycle on AWS, I think it would be a really good skill to have, because a lot of companies, they do use cloud infrastructure, and if you have some hands-on experience, it's going to be added advantage for you. Your opinion about Bournemouth University, MSc Data Science and AI? It's a good university, and I think I have covered this university in my list of affordable universities, and I think the fees is 16,000 pounds. So considering that, it is a good university. Yeah. How do I pay fees at Newcastle? If I have taken student loan, how much time will it take to reflect in student portal? So what I did was, I sent an email to my bank manager with the account details, and he dispersed the whole amount into the university's account. So that's how I paid, and within a week, I think it was all good. I was able to see that my fees has been paid. So yeah, that's how I did. If you don't mind telling me, how much are you paying per month for accommodation post your masters? Yeah, sure, no problem. So for my current room, I am paying 475 pounds, including bills, and there will be other expenses, living expenses like food and stuff. It comes to around 150 to 200 pounds. It can be more, it can be less depending on your living style, but yeah, that is on an average I spend every month on my as part of my living expense. I also had a room tour of my previous place, and also I discussed about the rent and stuff. So let me quickly find the link, and I'll post it in the chat, so that you will also get a rough idea about what to expect from your accommodation. Well, it is a shared accommodation, so I just rented one room in four-bedroom house. But if you're going for a student accommodation, it will be very different from this. So this may not be able to give you an idea about student accommodation, but you will still have some idea about places to look for once you are graduated. Yeah. Do I need to mail university for university bank details, or it's available somewhere? I think it is available in your student portal. If it is not, then of course you can mail your university. Can you let me know that 115 pounds per week for accommodation is costly, or should I search another one again? It depends in which location you are looking at. Is it very close to the university, and also in which city? So there are a lot of factors. So if you could tell me that, I would be able to tell you a bit more. Is Python a must-have skill, or a good to have skill for data analyst profile? Should I focus more on SQL and BI tools? For data analytics, I would say it is a must-have skill and it's not a good to have skill. But if you have like Python, SQL, and let's say Power BI, I think you are fully covered. you should be able to find data analytics job. But if you don't know Python, then you are very much limited. There are very few openings where you just need SQL and any BI tool. So I would say it's important to have Python. What is natural language processing? I don't know if my course would cover this, but it sounds important. So natural language processing is it's a part of making the normal English text to be able to understand by a machine, not just English, any other language. So any textual data, if you're performing any kind of textual analysis, so it could be word cloud, it could be using large language models, it could be using transformer based model. A lot of the large language models, they are based on transformers, or any older techniques like LSTM or things like that. So you could use those machine learning models to generate text classification, what else, text analysis. So all these things, they all come under natural language processing. So if you are working on a textual data, they are natural language processing. Your university covers or not, you may be able to ask your machine learning module leader or deep learning module leader whether you have any kind of projects or anything related to textual data. If they have, then it will be automatically covered as part of your data science course. So yeah, that is what you can do. It is like text mining. Yes, I am going to University of Leeds. Yeah, that's good. But if the accommodation that you are looking for, is it close to University of Leeds or within a walking distance, or is it a bit far? And as for Leeds in general, I think it is a good rent. You will be paying close to 495 ish pound per month, which is good. And if it's in student accommodation, I think the bills and all everything is going to be included in that. So I would say it's a good rent. Jonas is also going to University of Leeds. That's great. So you both can probably connect, and it would be helpful for both of you, I guess, because when you have someone going to the same university, uh, you guys will have a lot of things in common. So that's great. Don't mean to get too personal, but what salary package are you getting offered for your profile, bro? So this is something, I mean, I could have tell, but I was specifically told that it is confidential information and you should not discuss that in public, so I won't be able to tell that. But just to give you an idea, it is 40 plus. It's like 25 minutes by train. That's a bit far. And train is not uh, less expensive in the UK. It can sometimes go quite expensive. So one advice is that buy a rail card. It costs around £30 for a year, and it saves quite a lot of money. Previously, I used to think like I don't travel that often, I don't need a rail card. But when I actually bought it and I went to London just once, and I was able to recover that £30 in just one travel. So I would highly suggest buying a rail card. So that way, I think you'll be able to save some money. But by train, if it is 25 minutes, then I would say it's kind of far. Is it a remote location where you're living? If it's a remote location and if it's not a student accommodation, in that case, I think it is expensive. but if it's a student accommodation and if you are living very close to university, like in walking distance, then I think that rent is pretty good. But I think it will be really hard to find something in this particular range, um, in the city. Yeah. So if I do my masters in Cardiff and look for a job in another city, then would it be a disadvantage? No, I don't think so, because most of the interviews, they are conducted online and you can attend it from anywhere. All you have to do is mention that you are willing to relocate to any other city in your cover letter, or you can also do it in your CV. So yeah, if you do that and if you make your hiring manager aware that you are willing to relocate, you won't be at any kind of disadvantage. Living in university accommodation is better. Is there any regulatory body for prices there? So living in student accommodation is university accommodation is better or not. It very much comes down to your preference. So for me, I think it was not a good option to live in a student accommodation, mainly for two reasons. One is it's in student accommodation, so it will have that student atmosphere where on weekends people will be partying and stuff. So there might be some noise and stuff, which I don't prefer. And the second one is university accommodations are comparatively expensive. So when it is compared to student accommodations offered by websites like University Living, Uni Echo, or Amber Student, and also it is much more expensive as compared to renting a single room in a shared house. So those are the two reasons why I prefer not to live in university accommodation. But if you are someone who doesn't want too much hassle, and also if you take university accommodation, you will be very close to the university, so you can just walk to the university and you will not have to pay too much in your travel expenses. So that is something. But if I had to pick one, I would still pick something which is out of university accommodation. Um, is there any regulatory body for price? I don't know about that. Is there any regulatory body? If there is anything, I think it will be the university. They decide what will be the price for the accommodation for a particular academic year. So yeah. You're welcome, Bhagya. You're welcome, Siddharth. Do you say your name as Siddhartha or do you say it as Siddharth? I'm not sure how will you tell it. I mean, if you pronounce it as Siddhartha, then put two A's at the end of your name, and if you don't, just type it as is. Because the last thing I would want to do is pronounce your name wrong. I don't like pronouncing names in a wrong way. So yeah, if I pronounce any one of your names, which you feel it's not the correct way, do let me know. Even in my office, there was one person. So his name is Gerry. So I would personally pronounce it as Gary, but in the UK, people pronounce it as Jerry, and he is from the UK, so he pronounced his name as Jerry. So I heard a lot of people saying his name Jerry. So when I was in a meeting with him, I asked him, "Do you pronounce your name as Jerry or Gary?" So he told me Jerry. So now I started calling him Jerry. But then there is another person whose name is Gary, and he is in the US, and he pronounces his name as Gary. How's your weekend going on? Yeah, it's going good. It's just started. I am struggling quite a lot with the Twitch thing. So, uh, I have this audio issue there. So, whenever I go, there was just one live stream where the audio was quite good. But then I don't know what's the issue. I didn't change anything in my streaming setup, but the audio is just not good. I tried so many things, it didn't, nothing worked. Today also, since morning, I'm trying to figure out what's going off, but so far no luck. So probably today again I will do one more test run to see if I can fix that audio issue, because I think audio is the most important thing in any kind of content. So that's why I'm trying to fix the audio. That's a very painful thing to do, but yeah, I'm trying to fix it. Hopefully I'll be able to fix today. Apart from that, everything is fine, but it's been raining from past 2 3 days again. I mean, it's been raining continuously from past 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks. Only a couple of days we had sun. So I also need to go to a supermarket to buy a few stuff. So I'm just waiting to rain to stop. But yeah, apart from that, everything seems okay. What kind of assignment do we get in universities for data analytics slash data science course? Is it like sort of problem statement, practical, or need to do research, submit theoretical? So it's mix of both. In your dissertation you will be doing mix of both, but as for most of the coursework, there you will get a problem statement and then you will have to tackle it. It won't be a very rigid problem statement that you have to do this. There will be like, you are given this data set and this is the target, and then you have to do it. So for example, there is this cancer data set, right? So they will give you the data set. They will be like, we want to predict whether a person will get cancer or not. So now, apart from that, it's all up to you. How do you want to tackle this particular problem? What kind of data processing you want to employ? Apart from that, you don't get any rigid information, like you have to follow first data cleaning, data analysis, modeling, things like that. So there won't be any kind of guidance. You will have to do everything on your own. If you want to get some idea about data science projects, what I would say is you can check out my GitHub profile. There I have some projects which I did as part of my masters. You should be able to find. Actually, I have quite a lot of repositories, so I will share one or two repository link. That way, I think you should be able to get a bit more idea. So yeah, you can follow me on this link. I mean, this is a repository link, but you can follow me on GitHub as well. There I upload projects related to data science, and there you will be able to find quite a lot of resources to learn data science and also project ideas. So this is just one of the projects that I did, but you will be able to find some text generation, cyber security, data analysis. So yeah, those are some of the other projects which I did as part of my masters. 115 per week is on the cheaper side at Leeds, but you can find even cheaper ones through Unipool. Okay, that's a good information. Thanks, Jonas. Uh, but yeah, like like Bhagia told, it takes like 25 minutes by train. So I would assume that it is a bit far from the city center or from the university. And I'm not sure whether the university is in city center, but I think it is because last time I checked the location, I think it is very close to city center. So maybe uh, the place which she's talking about is kind of far from city. So considering that, I think 115 is bit on expensive side, but I would say it's still much better. Is time series and Fourier series important? So if you are getting into signal processing, then yes, it is very important. When I was working on a signal processing project, I use these things quite a lot. So if you want to get into signal processing, yes, it is very important. And yeah, time series is again when you do um, any temporal data. If you have, it's important to understand time series. So Fourier series is fine. I mean, it's not like you have to know this quite well, but you need to have an idea how to handle a particular data if it's a temporal one. What game today then? It's okay. So today is not any scheduled live stream. It's more about fixing the audio. So it could be Genshin or maybe HSR or Honkai Star Rail. So either of those. I haven't even installed any other games yet, simply because my laptop was. I mean, I had few games before, but I had to get my laptop fixed. So now everything is quite clean. So only those two games I have for now. So it would be either Genshin or Honkai Star Rail. If you do choose to join, you can say hello. Some use cases you are working now. Any research papers reading you doing these days? I i still need to get into paper reading again, because right now we are doing some kind of project within the organization, and for that I have to do some different kind of research. So for that, not necessarily I have to read a paper, but it is actually time consuming. So I'm not really getting much time to look for what papers to read, but I think there are few papers which I would like to read. One recently I heard somewhere, I think it was on Twitter. So I've forgotten the title, but I may well have saved it. It's about predicting the text by just lip movement, which is quite interesting. So I would like to see they have how they have done that in terms of taking the image, breaking frame by frame, what kind of image processing they have applied on that, and how did they process the data and things like that. So there are quite a lot of things. So that is something which I find quite interesting. It does not have any direct relation to my current work, but I personally find it to be really interesting. And I do read random papers which I find quite interesting, not necessarily which I would need for my work. So yeah, that is something which I would really like to read. What I will do is, on Discord server I'll create a section where I will make a research paper section, and whenever I find some interesting research paper, I will put the link of that research paper in that section, so that if you guys are interested in reading or learning something new, it would be a nice place to look for what's going on today. And I would highly recommend you people as well to post any interesting paper in that section. So I will create a separate section on Discord server. So if you are not part of a Discord server, you will be able to find a link in the chat, sorry, in the description. But if I could copy the link and put it in the chat. I think that would be much more convenient for you guys. So let me do that. So yeah, this is the Discord server, and I will create a channel there. Right. So under text section, you will be able to find research paper. It's important. It's empty because I have just now created, but that is the place where I will be putting down uh, all the research paper link, because that will act as a repository for me as well, so that I can go back and see what papers I wanted to read. So thanks for bringing up Neeraj. Um, that gave a good idea to create something. Pikachu. Who is Pikachu here? Someone's joined and saying hello. So hello. Do you have any idea of internship to do while studying in University of Leeds, which is related to data science? Not specifically to University of Leeds, is because I don't really have any close contacts. You will be one of the contacts once you go to the university, so that's a good thing. But as of now, I don't really have any close contacts. So I don't know, but considering any of the universities here, they do work quite closely with industrial industry. So here in Newcastle, we have the Catalyst building where we have a lot of companies. They do their data science research. Durham University. So we are doing some projects in collaboration with Durham University. So all universities, they do look for some industrial projects, and as part of your dissertation, you may be able to find some of the projects which will be in collaboration with with industry. And also you can reach out to your professors, ask them, I'm looking for an internship, is there any industrial project that you have which I could work on? That is one way. Other one is you can join some of the meetups. In meetups you get a lot of people coming from a lot of different backgrounds, and maybe you will be able to find someone who is having some internship role, or if at least they are aware of some internship roles. So yeah, that's how you will be able to find some internship. What is report writing? Could you explain in short? I can explain you in short, but I again have a video, so I will explain it in short. But let me quickly grab the link and post it in the chat, because in that video I have explained it in quite detail. So yeah, this is the video where you'll be able to find a lot of information about report writing. But in short, it's about telling a story about your project, whatever you did, but don't make it a suspense story. You would want to give them the overall picture of the project in the abstract section, and as much information as you can give. So by just reading the abstract, your whoever is the reader, they should know what to expect in whole of the report or in a paper. And yeah, all you have to do is explain whatever work you have done. You will also have to tell what type of research you did, what type of work is already there in the market, and what inspirations you took from those projects. So you have to include all these things. Jonathan. Okay, nice. Changes in AI, ML, DS landscape capabilities which have taken place since 2019. Is there a sea change, or are we still under similar constraints? Um, I think the major development that has happened is in the past 6 7 months, mainly because of these large language models. Before that, yes, we had Image and Dali, things like that for images, and they were actually quite good in terms of a lot of different use cases. But I think the major disruption has come in the form of large language models. So moving forward, I think the generative AI, it could be image based, it could be text based. Now we are getting into audio as well. So these generative AI seem like these are the futures. So yeah, I would say if we are able to get our hands on how to use these generative AI, and not just uh, it's not like you have to create generative AI, because to create a generative AI you will need huge amount of resources in terms of time and compute resources. So you don't need to know, I mean, obviously you need to know how they work and how they have been built, but you don't need to build something from scratch. What you need to know is how to use them to their full potential, and how you can solve a lot of business problem using those generative AI. So I think generative AI is the future, and they have changed the whole landscape of data science, ML, AI, those things. So yeah, that's what I can probably tell as of now. We still are in kind of a development phase where these generative AI, they are doing certain tasks quite well, but then there are a lot of things which they don't do very well. So they're still improving, but I can already see a lot of companies using it, and a lot of use cases in the practical world. So yeah. Cheaper ones close to the university are all sold out now. Yeah, that is kind of expected. I think Mary Maurice had. I'm expecting a parcel, so I'm just keeping an eye outside. So let me quickly check the status, and then I'll get back to the chat. Okay, we still have like 15 20 minutes. A lot of people going to University of Leeds. It's good actually. I think it's a really good university, and hopefully you guys will be able to collaborate among each other. I mean, if you have joined the Discord server, or you can also join Telegram channel. Link will be in the description. So there also you can talk, and on Discord I have a dedicated section where it's buddy up in general section. So there you can inquiry about if someone's going to certain university, and if there are people going to similar universities, I think you guys can help each other. So that is going to be quite helpful, I think. What's your view future redundancy of simple AIDS jobs? Are you taking a one step at a time approach, or do you have a 3 5 years view on your own career? Also, how long does UK visa last? Right, so that's a really good question. So I personally think all those basic AI data science jobs where you were just creating a model will be gone, and I think it is already starting to become much lesser and lesser. So Because if you just go to a generative AI and you take an example of Copilot, you just go there and you start typing, it can generate the whole code. Or if you just go to any large language models like Llama 2, ChatGPT, Claude, anything, you can just ask them to generate a code for you for training a particular machine learning model. They will do quite well. You can also ask them to do hyperparameter tuning. So all those kind of things are good, but what they can't do at this point is create a full-fledged large scale application where you are integrating a lot of different sources. You're connecting to a database and then writing backend code, writing a front end code separately, then connecting them using GraphQL or REST API, and then probably trying to deploy it, deploying the model somewhere like in AWS. Those things, as of now, those large language models, they can't do. So if you are someone who can do all those things and then make use of large language models to create those subsection of the whole project, I think you will be quite successful. And that's how we can see the job market transforming. And 3 to 5 years is a long way ahead, considering the pace with which we are developing in this particular domain, data science, AI, machine learning. So it's really hard to predict what will happen in 3 5 years. So I would say that whatever is happening now, try to make best of it and try to gain as much knowledge as possible and try to stay up to date. So that's related to data science. But yes, you should always have a long term vision, like what you want to achieve in 3 to 5 years or maybe 10 years down the line. That way you will have a very clear picture what you want to achieve after a few years. But then you'll have to first take those small steps to reach end of the goal. So yeah, that's how I personally take things, but it could be different for different people. As for as long how long does the UK Europe visa last? So your education visa or student visa, what education visa? So your student visa, it will last for 1 year 6 months. After that you get 2 years of post study work visa. That's for UK. Europe is a completely different entity now after Brexit. So you get 2 years of post study work visa. So overall, you will get around 3.5 years of visa. A brief on freelancing startup, working back with some Indian firms, any other country opportunity in the UK. Freelancing, yeah. Um, there are a lot of visa implications. So when you are on a student visa or when you are on a post study work visa, you can work multiple jobs. You can also do freelancing if you want. You can do your full-time job. So there are a lot of flexibility on post-study work visa. You can also work on your own startup. um, Working back with some Indian firms slash any other country opportunities in the this part of your question I could not understand quite properly, but if I have answered your question, that's good. I'm just checking that delivery thing. Just give me a second. I recently read that only 7% of international students are able to secure a visa sponsored job in the UK. Is the situation the same for MSc Data Science too? What hiring trends are you observing? So yes, it is same for any other job or for data science. It's simply because most of the companies uh, they they provide the sponsorship to people who have some experience and people who are going for some sort of senior roles. And there's a huge population, or there's a huge student pool where people are kind of a freshers. So for those candidates, companies prefer to have them on post study work visa and then see how they perform over the 2 years. And if they develop quite nicely and if they feel like yes, they are a good addition to the company, they can get sponsorship. If not, obviously you'll have to find somewhere else. But yeah, uh, that is true. So if you have some experience, let's say 3 to 4 or at least 5 years of experience, I think you should be able to find a sponsored job. But again, it depends in what kind of role you had experience with. If it was something which was very different from data science, then maybe it was going to be a bit harder. But if you had experience which was relevant to data science, in that case, I think you should be able to find a sponsorship job. But I think even if you're not able to find a sponsorship job right after your master's, and if you work in a company for 2 years on post study work visa, and if you're able to prove that yes, you are a valuable addition to the company, companies are usually open to provide sponsorship, is because they don't want to invest time and resources into hiring a new person uh, and then guiding them or teaching them how things work in the company, because it's a waste of time, development time. So they do want people who are already working in the company to stay there for long term. So yeah, if you are able to show the company that yes, you are valuable addition, they are they're open to provide sponsorship. I have is University of East Anglia. It's a good university. I looked into their course content a while back, but they had a really good course content. You're welcome, Neeraj. Hi, Harshal. Does UKVI want stable funds for 28 days while applying visa, or we can do any transactions during? You can do any transactions during 28 days. It need not be um, ideal for 28 days. All they want is so let's say you need to show 25,000 pounds, right? So 25,000 pound in your account. So the day when you are applying for your visa, that amount, 28,000 pound or 25,000 pound, it should be 28 days old. So it should not go below that threshold in past 28 days. So that's how it should be. Hey Roshan, how can we build our network in UK? Is there any site that you would recommend for events and meetup? So there are two websites. One is Eventbrite, the other one is meetup.com. They both are really good. There you can find a lot of data science and data analytics related meetups. And if that meetup is in your location, I would highly suggest going there, physically attending those meetups, because when you talk to people face to face, it makes much more impact than just talking them online. So you can always attend online events, but it's also important to go to those meetups physically and meet people face to face. So those are the two websites which I'm aware you can look into. Is University of East Anglia one of the top universities in the UK? Not necessarily, but it's a decent university. Hey, I have worked on a project which burns animated captions. Just give me a second. I think the parcel is here, so let me quickly go and collect it, and I will be back. Sorry for the interruption, guys. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry for that. Where was I? Hey, I worked on a project which burns animated captions to video. Would you be interested for your channel? Yeah, that could be good. We could probably connect and first see how the project works, and yeah, sure, I'm open for that. And it could be a really good learning for other people as well, and for me as well, because I've never worked on this kind of project. So yeah, sure, I'm open for that. So yeah, Ashutosh, if you are still here, drop me an email. We can connect. We can see what the project is all about, and how it works. And yeah, we could do something like that on the channel. So sure, I'm open for that. Trending question: will AI replace jobs for data scientists? So I have already made a video on this topic. I will drop a link in the chat. So yeah, this video should be able to give you an idea about whether AI will replace data science. But I mean, there is no clear answer, yes or no. There are a lot of things that we need to factor in. So I have talked about that in quite detail in this particular video. So do check it out. How is University of Bristol and University of Bath for data science? Also, what are graduate schemes? Are they like internships? So both the universities are really good. I rate them quite highly in terms of data science course. They could be really good for other courses as well, but I'm not sure. So for data science, they are really good. What are graduate schemes? So graduate scheme is where you join a company as an employee, full-time employee, and there you go through certain training. So if you are aware of training which is being conducted by Infosys for years, so you will go through that kind of rigorous training where you will be a full-time employee, but you will go through a training and it lasts quite longer. So you will be part of the training for 6 7 months, I guess, and then they will put you into different teams. So it could be data analytics team, it could be data science teams, it could be testing team, it could be a software development team. And then based on your preference, you can choose which one you would like to go to, and of course it will be subjected to business requirement. So if there are a lot of openings in data science, and if you feel like yes, you want to get into data science, you can join that particular team. But then there are a lot of roles where they hire specifically data science graduates, so you will be for sure going to a data science team. So I think if you are a fresher and if you have done a course, it's better to go to graduate scheme where you will learn quite a lot, the actual stuff, not just from the conceptual thing. So you will actually know how to put things into production and how to actually build large scale applications. Is it possible to spend 7-6 pounds a day in food while in university in the UK? I think that is going to be really expensive to spend 6-7 pounds a day. Yeah, I think it's quite expensive. Um, maybe I'm getting your question wrong. Is it like, does it include everything like eating out and then cooking something at home? If it includes everything, then yeah, I think it's fine. It's good, because you will be spending around, let's say in a month you will be spending somewhere close to 210 pounds, which is fine. That much you are expected to pay because of this uh, inflation and things like that. But if you are just talking about eating out, if you go to university and then you spend like 7 pounds for just one meal in that day, I think that is very expensive. What happens to your visa your if you change job in UK? Does it need to have a new sponsor will be also getting extended to a fresh renewed visa or last? So basically what happens is, if you are on a skilled worker visa and let's say if you lose a job, you will have, I'm not exactly sure, it's 60 days or 90 days. You will have that period of time to look for another sponsorship job. If you're able to find that, your uh, the visa will be reapplied, I think, and or the existing one will get renewed. So that's how things work. And if you change your job, it will automatically switch, because the government should know who is your current employer. So your visa will change, and then uh, your current employer's name will be on the sponsor, in the sponsor's field on the visa. And if you are in a, let's say if you are in one company, so company A, and they offered you a sponsorship for 3 years, right? And then you decided to leave that company after 1 year, and you choose a separate company, company B, and if they are offering you a sponsorship for just 1 year, so you will have just 1 year of sponsorship, and I don't think you will have sponsorship for 3 years, so, or for remaining 2 years. So I think that's how things work. But yeah, by no means I am a professional visa advisor or something like that. You should be able to find a lot of information on UK government website, so I would highly suggest to check out that source. But that's how things work, in my opinion. Yeah. Is applied AI course enough today to become a data scientist? Because I have got a downloadable course now, I am trying to learn from it, but I am confused. Is it enough to become a data scientist today? It is enough in terms of content. It is a really good content, and it is more than enough if you are able to grasp all the concepts, if you are able to learn everything. I personally think it's a really good course. Also, Roshan, do you invest back in India? Most of my investments are in India, so yes, I do. I'll do MSc in data science from Manchester Metropolitan University, September intake. Do you think I should apply for 1 year placement option? So the simple answer is, if you are a fresher, I would say yes. But if you have experience, so it could be around 3 to 4 years of experience. If you have that much experience, I wouldn't suggest applying for uh, placement option. My question is serious. I have 5 years of study gap. Now I want to Now I want to admit myself for a job oriented course. I am a graduate, so what will be your suggestion to study abroad, or can you suggest any? Uh, so studying abroad is bit of a risk, is because you will be investing quite a lot of money, and if things don't work out the way you want it to be, I think you will get a huge setback in terms of financial. um yeah, financially you will have a huge setback. What I can suggest is, try to find something in your home country, and I'm assuming you're from India. So try to do something in India. Take a course. I won't suggest taking a very expensive course, because these days you see these uh, bigger platforms like Upgrad and Great Learning, things like that. They offer courses, but they are so expensive, like 3 lakhs Indian rupees, which is huge sum of money. I won't suggest that much, and I don't think it's worth it. You can get a very good, decent courses at a very much affordable price with the likes of iNeuron. They have a really good course, and it is affordable. I think it costs around 15-16,000. So if you really want to take some course, take those kind of courses and learn. Try to do projects, and try to get some job in India, because that way you will not have a lot of financial implications. You will be in a much better position even if things don't work out. So that's what I would suggest. And if you're able to find a job, that is very good, and gain some experience. It could be around 2-3 years of experience. Once you have some experience, and then if you think you would want to pursue a career in some other country, then you can probably apply for masters, or directly apply in a country if you're able to find a job, which is a much uh, harder process, but it is still an option. So this is a much more of a safer way. But if you think, and I can tell you that Indian job market is much more competitive as compared to UK job market. So if you think you're not ready for that kind of competition, then you can take this big risk and come to UK or any other country of your choice, and then invest that money, and then try to find a job here. So that is what I can suggest, but I think at the end of the day, the decision should be yours. But yeah, doing masters in this scenario is a bit of a risk. Your views on Udacity and DataCamp. They both are really good platforms. I have used DataCamp in the past, and I really like the way they have designed their platform, where I think on the left hand side you have the content, and on the right hand side you can write code, which is very intuitive. I personally like that, and you don't need to set up the environment on a local system. You don't have to go through the hassle of dependency issues and things like that. So you can do everything in just one place, which is really interesting. So I think yes, DataCamp is good. Udacity, their course, I don't exactly remember when, but long back when I was into web development, I think I had taken some course on Udacity. It was a free course, so I took that course, and I actually found that course to be quite helpful. So yeah, both the platforms are really good, but if today I have to pick something, I would probably pick DataCamp. Are there any openings in your company at this point? No. Probably yes, there is one product data analytics or data analyst job, something like that. Yeah, product data analyst job. It is currently available, but it is in a different team. So I don't really know what exactly are going to be the requirements there. I think it's in a marketing team, but yes, there is an opening. I saw that opening just yesterday. We are well over 1 hour now, so I'll answer questions for another 10 minutes. So once it is 1 hour 30 minute, then I will end this stream, and then I will first go and cook something because I'm really hungry, and then I will try to fix my Twitch audio thing. So I will be live on Twitch after an hour or so. But yeah, I mean, if you would like to join us, you are more than welcome. I will try to find a link and I will put it in the chat. But if you don't, that is also totally fine, because hey, I am just going to try to fix the audio, and audio is not going to be really good, so you may not enjoy that. But yeah, I would appreciate if you do feel like joining. So yeah, hey, my friend has 5 years IT technical support experience now. He is coming to UK for September 23 intake for MSc Data Science. Will he be able to apply for graduate data science role after his 2 years of course? It is highly likely that company is going to ask, why do you want to apply for graduate role having 5 years of experience? And they usually do not accept applications from people with this much of experience. The most they can go is up until 2 to 3 years of experience. So if you have 2 to 3 years of experience, they can still accept your offer and may be willing to offer you they're willing to accept your application, and they're willing to offer you a role, graduate role. But with 5 years of experience, I think it is way above the limit, so I doubt it is possible. But I think it's worth applying. It doesn't cost anything. Scalar course is 3.6 lakhs. Yeah, it's just too expensive, and I don't suggest uh, getting that expensive course. I am BSc graduate now, confused to pursue whether MSc or MS or MBA or my BSc in transportation, because of which I'm not getting admission in any MSc stats or data science course. Says, in India, what should I do? If you really want to get into data science, I think there are a lot of universities in the UK and abroad. They do accept applications from people who don't have a similar background. So yeah, you should be able to apply. The other thing is, you can, like I suggested before, uh, to contributor. That's what your name is. So yeah, you could try to take some affordable courses like iNeuron and learn those things, and try to do projects and try to get a job. Or what you can do is, you can get into IT companies like Infosys, Accenture, TCS, Wipro. There you can apply off campus, or if you're still in your university, then you can go for campus recruitment and try to get into those companies. It could be, I mean, you will be put on a very random project. So if you get something related to data science, that is going to be the best case scenario. If not, you will still be associated with that IT background. And then if you try to apply for um, MSc, MS, or any of the related courses in data science in India, you should be fine. So yeah, that is another option. So maybe taking a course and trying to get into data science initially will sound like an easy option, but I think still that is still kind of hard because the competition is going to be way too much. So what you can do is you can take a course and learn in parallel and try to get into any service based company into IT sector. And once you are there, you can either try to move within the organization, or you can always leave that company and take some data science analytics role in some other organization. So those are some of the ways that you can follow, and I think it should work fine. I will be going for my visa appointment real soon, but I won't be able to produce my experience certificate by that time. Will it be okay? Mm, experience certificate is not the most important document, so I think you should be fine. But if in any case or somehow you have mentioned this in your visa application, or if a university has mentioned it on your cash letter or something like that, I think you need that letter. But it is not the most important. It's not the most important document, so you should be fine. Thank you so much for your kind suggestion. I will definitely implement those and try to succeed in that. All the best, Anoop. Another last question. My cousin has 3.5 years of experience as a DBA in India. So, what is the scenario of job market for DBA in UK as per your market study? So, DBA roles are still there, yes, because there are so many databases and there should be someone who would need to handle those databases. But now the trend which I'm seeing is most of the companies, they are moving from those traditional databases to some of the recent things like Snowflake. So if he or she has experience with these kind of tools, I think they should be able to find something. But finding something from India in the UK is very hard, but it's worth trying, because if you don't try, you won't know. And it does not cost anything to apply for a job. So yes, it is worth trying. But if he or she is planning to do masters, I think, yeah, after that they will be able to even find a data analytics kind of role or DB role if they still want to stick to that particular role. So yeah, it is totally possible. I am 2022 BSc grad, currently data analyst, but sincerely want to become data scientist. That's the case. I have data background, data analyst in pet care startup, not big tech firm like Accenture. If you're working for a startup, I think that's a really good thing, because you will learn quite a lot of things. And you have been in that role for just a year or so. It depends on the nature of the work. You can learn like tons of things in just 1 year, and there are cases where you won't learn much. So depending on your situation, it's always good to apply for data scientist role, which is fine. But I would say give it some more time. And because my current official role is data analyst role, but I'm doing all sorts of things. It's not just data analytics role. It involves machine learning, generative AI, data analytics, requirement collection. So I am doing things all the way from business analyst to data analyst or machine learning engineer. So business analyst, data analyst, data scientist, machine learning engineer. So I'm doing so many things. That's the thing which I really like about my job. So don't stress too much about your current role, which is data analyst. It's fine. Think about the kind of work you are doing and what are the things you can do. And if you think it's good enough, I would say stay there for another year or so, maybe year or two. And once you have 3 years of experience or maybe more, then you can start looking for other options, or maybe you can also look for a master's. And that way you will have a much better growth in your career. So don't jump ships so soon. I've seen a lot of people doing that. I've seen some people here, they worked for a year or 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, and then they come for master. But then after coming for masters, they are still considered as a fresher, and they are finding so hard to find a job. So don't jump ships so soon. To you too, Jonathan. You too, Anoop. So this is the last question which I will take. uh, so I recently graduated with economics honors degree, and I plan to do masters in data science from top university from London. Only what would you suggest me? My GPA is, so your CGPA is good, and you want to do your masters from a top university, so I think you are ready to pay that much amount of money, which is fine. So yeah, you can explore, and your GPA is actually good, so I think you should be able to get an offer from some of the top universities. And just to name a few, if you are actually looking for some of the universities which I think are really good universities for data science, are University of Edinburgh, University of Glasgow, Imperial College London, LSE, London School of Economics. So yeah, these are some of the top tier universities you can look for. You're welcome, Saurabh. And I always enjoy coming here talking to you guys like this. And I'm trying to help as much as I can, because I always say this. I have been in your shoes. I was also kind of a directionless at some point. I didn't know what to learn, where to learn, what to do, what not to do. But yeah, I made my through. So I'm here to help as much as I can, and make your life and other people's life a bit easier, maybe by 1%, but at least I'm trying my best. I say, what about job opportunities after masters in London? uh, Currently, UK's job market is quite bad. It is following a very downward trend. So currently it is not looking very good, but there are jobs. It's just that competition is way too high, because so many people have been laid off. So many people are now trying to do masters from the UK, because they are providing 2 years of post-study work visa. Their course is also for just 1 year, and it is relatively inexpensive as compared to other countries in terms of masters fees. So there are a lot of factors. So that's why a lot of people are coming to UK for masters. So that's why the job market is quite competitive. But but the jobs are there. So if you're ready to come in that market and ready to fight, I think you should be fine. Okay, everyone, have a good day. And within an hour time, if you really want to come to Twitch, you can come there. I'm just going to fix the audio, so nothing impressive there. But yeah, you are more than welcome to join. And if not, then I can also see you tomorrow, because tomorrow is the scheduled Twitch live stream. If not tomorrow, then I will see you guys next week. So yeah, have a great weekend, and enjoy. Happy learning, everyone. Bye. We have one last question. I'll take that one. How can we join in Omdena project, is there any interview or eligibility criteria? I think there isn't any interview, so you can you just need to go there. I think you register and you find a project which you are interested in, and you can show your interest. They may be send you some small question or something like that, but it's not going to be very hard interviews, so you should be able to get into a project quite easily. Okay everyone, bye.